I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here today. We've a number of clients joining in from the Guinness Enterprise Centre, from the Dublin BIC, through Space and Bride Street, and then just some of our connections who've joined up through LinkedIn, through Twitter, and just through other social media channels. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us here today. For those of you I haven't met before, my name is Ronan Donnelly. I'm the Business Development Manager and Community Manager for the Guinness Enterprise Centre. For those of you who know nothing about the GEC, we've been home for Ireland's entrepreneurs for the last 20 years or so. We've got 75 small businesses on site, with about 100 co-workers. And over the next few months, we'll be expanding our services to our clients. We'll be adding 2 additional floors onto our current building, and really make it a great ecosystem for Irish and international small businesses and entrepreneurs to come network and work together and to grow and scale. So that's a brief introduction to the GEC. I suppose that the reason why we decided to put this session together today was, I mean, if you look at the Irish economy at the moment, we employ about 70% are employed directly through domestic companies. Within a lot of that are small medium enterprises. About 15% then are public, and 15% are in multinational. So within that 70% who are employed domestically, you know, a lot of people fix costs in terms of rent, loans, insurance. About 20-25% of annual turnover goes in fixed costs. It can be a stressful period. And I suppose to loop in with Dave here through the local enterprise offices to let you guys know that there are the support structures and the support measures available. So post-COVID, you come out the other side, and you know you can trade better and trade stronger and keep going. To give an introduction then to Dave Connolly. So Dave is a business advisor with the local enterprise office in Dublin City. So he's responsible for the development of small companies within the area. David previously worked in Dundalk IT and with Enterprise Ireland, and has worked with companies from pre-startup stage to scaling stage. So I'd like to welcome Dave, who's going to run a quick presentation through the support structures available. If anyone has any questions throughout the session, just use the chat function and we'll do a Q&A at the end. So Dave, over to you there if you want to crack on. Again, thanks a million for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, listen, thanks for you were obviously stalking my LinkedIn with an introduction like that, so thanks very much.
No problem.
So look, I might just take over the screen here, and then we'll drive on. Is the best.
Perfect.
What I'm going to discuss today is very much twofold. It's obviously firstly going to be COVID-related supports that we have that are available, but we're operating a very much a business as usual policy as well in terms of our funding schemes that are available. All of those are still open for application. So this presentation is going to cover both sides of that. So COVID-related supports, and indeed our traditional supports that are available and open for applications at this moment in time. I'm going to send these slides on to Ronan afterwards, so he's going to disseminate them out to yourselves. And a couple of what I believe are the salient points, we're just going to put those in links that I'll send on to Ronan that he can send out to yourselves as well. Okay? All right. So I've about 20 slides here. So look, we won't be death by PowerPoint by any means. Ronan's going to collate some questions that we will take at the end as well. Okay? Thank you. So what is the local enterprise office? It's very much each local enterprise office, and indeed the one in Dublin City, is attached to Dublin City Council. It's very much a smaller version of Enterprise Ireland. 31 local authorities / councils, therefore 31 local enterprise offices. If you're based out of the GEC, you're in Dublin 8, and you'd fall within Dublin City Council remit. Okay, so you should be engaging with ourselves. Companies that we would traditionally support, generally a turnover of less than 2 million, staffing levels of less than 10. Okay, and Ronan kind of discussed some of the participants that are here today, and I believe a large majority of you fall into this category. If I was to symbolize what we do in a tagline, it's very much the first-stop shop for enterprise supports. So all of these agencies, from Design and Crafts Council to EI, Board Beer for Food, Microfinance Ireland, which I'm going to discuss in some detail. Some of you would have come through New Frontiers programs. All of these agencies we would have interactions with, and we'd be the initial contact point for funneling you into the supports that they have available. If my PowerPoint hasn't frozen. Okay, it hasn't. Okay, so some of the companies, I'm sure you'll be familiar with these. These are some GEC clients, and indeed one of them is an anchor tenant, I think, across the road in the Digital Hub as well. So look, generally we use this slide to show that traditionally there was a misconception that we sponsored companies that were the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. And yes, we do fund those companies, but we also fund more technically advanced companies as well. So anything from medical devices company to usually successful clothing company, food companies, and indeed a social media listening company that's up on the right hand side as well. Okay, so it's broad. So I go back to my initial point of we're very broad in the criteria of companies, extremely broad to the point that we rule companies in as opposed to rule them out. Turnover less than 2 million and staffing levels less than 10. So I think a lot of you will hopefully be able to avail of support from us that we're going to discuss now. If I was to symbolize what we do in a photo, it's probably this. It's keep you on the straight and narrow. So it's really driving you on, and I think that's more salient than ever before, particularly with the crisis that we find ourselves in. So it's really about just helping you, whether that be through soft supports or financial supports. Okay, and I'm going to discuss some of our soft supports and our kind of online training courses that we have available. A personal note here, for me, our return on investment in terms of training courses that we provide for entrepreneurs far outweighs the financial supports that we have. Okay, so that's why I always discuss this one first or at the top of any presentation. We've a long, very proud track record of mentoring or providing training courses to companies and indeed highly successful entrepreneurs. That has transitioned obviously onto online, and I'm just going to provide a whistle-stop tour of some of the most beneficial courses that I believe you could be availing of. This will be one of the links that I will be sending on in the email through Ronan later on as well. So look, crash course that we're providing at this moment in time, 10-hour course, 2 hours a day over 5 days, little small groups. The idea is to identify opportunities through the challenges that everybody's facing at this moment in time with COVID-19. And it's really about putting you on a sound footing financially to ensure that post this, firstly you're around, and secondly you can capitalize on some of the points and strengths that you may have built up over the next couple of weeks. Highly successful course. We're running 3 of these a week, so 3 in tandem. They're free to attend and free to participate on, as are all of our training courses over the next number of weeks. And there's something that I'd be really encouraging you to avail of. Something that's very important at this moment in time, cash management in a crisis. Look, this is a course that we've run and we've had to re-engineer ever so slightly for COVID-19. It's something that we're very good at. So look, quarter 3, quarter 4, 2008, this would have been a course that we developed, and it's something that we've progressed and developed over the last kind of decade or 13 years. So it's something that I'll be again encouraging you to look at, and it's very much about managing your cash flow. Okay. Other online courses, and again, look, we're not limited to this, and we've developed, I think, 5 or 6 different courses over the last couple of weeks, because they've been dictated to us by our clientele, which are you guys. So look, I'd be encouraging you firstly to look at our website. If you feel that there's something there that you need that we don't have, I'd be encouraging you to contact me and see if we can put something together for you, because we're very much in a kind of a proactive stage of developing courses for people. Okay, and that's again what will be in one of the links that Ron will be sending on, but a very much a whistle-stop tour. Online selling courses, lean programs. Look, there's networking courses that are there as well. And there's obviously our our one-to-one mentoring courses are available as well, all done virtually. Okay. Look, I think networks more than anything are very important at this moment in time. We are, as people, are very much socially driven animals. All of our networks are open, and they're hosting training courses and networking events on a kind of a weekly basis. There's 4 that I've just picked out. Dublin Food Chain for food businesses. I'd be encouraging you to look at their website. Women in Business Network, something we're very, very proud of. Again, something that you should be looking at. The Play-Doh Dublin Network, which is for large size enterprises mentoring small size enterprises, and there's that trickle down of skill sets from the large organizations to the smaller ones. And the last one, the Business Network, is actually for companies that I'm going to squeeze you guys into, because it's basically any company that engages with us or comes along to any of our training courses, or more importantly, signs up to our newsletter. So look, I'd be encouraging you very much to get out there and have a look at those courses, or have a look at those networking sessions that we have available. Those networks are very important at this moment in time. It's something I'm sure that a lot of you, look, all you have to do is pick up a newspaper, go online, listen to the radio or listen to TV, and you'll be familiar with the advertisements for the business continuity voucher. This is a €2,500 contribution for you to engage with a third-party consultant. Crucially, this is for companies that employ up to 50 employees. Okay, so we've expanded our traditional cohort of companies that we engage with, and the idea is really to to assist you in making judgment calls on what needs to happen over the next number of weeks. This is by far and away our most subscribed to response to COVID. I would be encouraging you all to apply for it. There is a budget there. I think we might have 30-40 people engaged here. I would be hopeful that a lot of you will be transitioning into making an application for this. It's a 3-page document. You list out the concerns and challenges that you have, and we try hopefully to match you up to some sort of a mentor or some sort of a consultant that can guide you through those concerns. Okay. Look, I mentioned at the top of the presentation that we're very much business as usual. Some of you that will have engaged with local enterprise offices in the past will be familiar with our 3 flagship grants. First one there is a feasibility study. Second one's a priming grant, and the third one is a business expansion grant. And I kind of use these icons to describe the stages of development that a company would be at. So very much the feasibility study is, and I think this one here at this moment in time is we've a lot of time to be planning and strategizing where our business is at, and that's why I'm hopeful that 1 or 2 of you will hopefully be transitioning into feasibility study applications. It's very much about targeting new areas. That can be development of a new plan or a new proposal, but we're open for applications for feasibility studies at this moment in time. In monetary terms, what does that mean? You could spend €20,000 on developing some sort of a new entity or a new part of your business, and the ability is there for us to pay back 50% of that, so €10,000 if you're to spend your 20 up front. Priming grant is really around companies that are less than 18 months old. They're looking to take in staff. They're looking to either take the promoter in full time or take in 1 or 2 other staff full time. Okay, and that's a contribution of €10,000 towards the salary of somebody coming into the business full time. The last one here on the right hand side is a business expansion grant, which is for more developed companies, so greater than 18 months trading, and it is a contribution again towards salaries of full-time employees. There is a refundability element of it, so if you were to receive €10,000, you would pay back 30 cents on the euro for that. Okay, and these are open at this moment in time. We have a rolling application process for these. We assess them and pay out every 6 weeks. A business advisor like myself would work through an application form with you. this is again one of the links that I'm going to send on via Ronan following this presentation. Okay. Here's two other kind of, and I'm getting towards the end of my presentation, two smaller grants that I believe, one smaller grant and one funding scheme that I wanted to discuss with people. Again, both are heavily advertised and both are responses to COVID at this moment in time. So the first one of these is a trading online voucher, okay? So look, there's two categories of trading online voucher, and I'm going to discuss both of them at this moment in time. So there's people that haven't availed of it previously, and you can receive up to €2,500. You must attend a compulsory one day or half a morning workshop. That's on the 30th of April. It's obviously done online. You can use that for anything that you would consider online at this moment in time. Okay, so that can be video development, photography. It can be a Shopify account. It can be a little bit of advertising for your business and to hopefully generate some online sales. But you must attend the training course. And the next one for us is the 30th of April. Okay, so it's next week. So that's trading online voucher. We have launched a response to COVID one at this moment in time. Sorry, forgive me, which is you can receive, you spend €2,500 on your website and you receive back 90% of that from us, okay? So that's €2,250 back from us. Exact same thing. You must attend the training course also, but it's something that I would be encouraging a lot of people to do. I'm going to send the link on to Ronan afterwards as well. The crucial thing about this as well is if you've availed of a trading online voucher previously, you can now avail of the second one also, okay? And I'm sure there'll be a couple of questions about this following the conclusion of the presentation. Second thing, okay, Microfinance Ireland, which Microfinance Ireland have, as a response to COVID, have launched a new funding scheme. It's loans up to €50,000. It's 6 months interest and repayment free. It's 4.5% on the interest, but it's 6 months interest and payment free. If you come through the local enterprise office, we will fill out the application form for you. We will go through everything with you in terms of your credit bureau checks and credit bureau reports. We'll work on your management accounts to ensure that they pass the test. We'll work with you on your business plan and indeed even filling out the application form for you. Okay. Similar kind of story in terms of companies that are eligible for it, less than 10 employees and turnover of less than 2 million. So this is something that I'd be encouraging a lot of companies to do. I consider like if we're working on the application form with you, there's a high chance of hopefully receiving approval. Okay. And one point, and I'm getting towards the end, is I always encourage companies to look at this website, okay? There's over 170 different government bodies that support enterprise in this country, okay? Supportingsmes.gov.ie will ask you 8 quick questions, simple things like location, turnover, size, etc., will then provide you with a response of what organizations you're eligible for funding from and indeed training supports from. So that's something that I'd be really encouraging a lot of you to look at. And if it's one thing you're taking away from today, that should be it. Okay. Look, that's me at the end of the presentation. I promised Ronan I'd be less than 10 minutes. I hope I've kind of done that. My contact details are here. I would be suggesting take them down. We're going to have a Q&A now at this moment in time at the end. The second piece is if there's a question that you don't want to ask in a kind of a public forum, take down my contact details and we can have a follow-up interaction after this. Thank you.
We'll start with Tom. So Thomas Dixon. So does everyone? So say everyone get the links for that online. Sorry, Tom. I will share the links to you after the session. You give me your email. Alex Martin. Are there any limitations to applying for the voucher? I.e., if the client had been an Enterprise Ireland company in the past, I suppose it's the 10 employee criteria.
Yeah. Well, like I suppose we we'll have to ascertain if you're currently still an Enterprise Ireland company. So that's from Thomas, is it?
No, that's from Alex Martin, sorry.
Okay, sorry, Alex. Alex, what I'd suggest is, can you take my contact details and maybe send me an email afterwards, and we'll find out where exactly you're at in terms of if you're actually a fully fledged Enterprise Ireland client or if you fall within our criteria. If you do, then there should be no reason for why you can't apply for what I've discussed there earlier.
Perfect. And then we have another comment here from Susie. So feasibility is match funding. Can you match your own time against it?
For us, no. No. We love to see a skill set that's possibly not in the business at this moment in time come in, and that's why we see the feasibility study as bridging that gap for you.
We've another 3 questions here. So we have one from Tom Walsh. Could you explain the voucher maybe a little bit more and what you can do with it? So I suppose you mentioned there that you can offset some of your costs, right, against your website design, for example. What else could we do with it there, do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I think
common themes.
I'm not sure which voucher he's on about, so I'm going to jump in and say it's probably the business continuity voucher.
Right.
So look, I'll give an example of a company that we were dealing with earlier this week. They needed support in terms of social media, so they got somebody in to audit their complete kind of interaction and social media interaction. That's one we've worked with. We had another company that needed an accountant to come in and really blow them apart financially. So there's the 2 extremes that we've had there. I suppose, look, these are extraordinary times. If you can come in and pitch something that you believe will benefit your business, and we believe it's eligible through the continuity voucher, then it's something I'd be encouraging you to apply for.
Hope that helps you there, Thomas. If you have any more questions though after, you can get in touch. We have a question here from Amelia. So trading online in regards to production of content for a website. So Amelia is a photographer and videographer, and would like to approach business and encourage them to avail of this. With the current restrictions, the work will not happen right now. Is there a limit to when this should be completed? Yeah,
so we take a year from approval date. So they have to, if they successfully apply for a trading online voucher and are awarded it, they have a year to conclude that process. So they have a year to engage with you if they choose to work with you.
Perfect. I hope that helps you there, Amelia. We have a question here from Greg Slattery. So if you turnover of more than 2 million in the past 12 months, are you exempt from qualifying for the TOV and business continuity grant?
Okay. So look, I suppose there's 2 pieces to this. We'd have to have a look at what's happened in the last 3 months and what you predict is going to happen in the next 3 months. Strictly speaking, you are exempt. But look, it's back to my reoccurring theme of I prefer to rule you in rather than rule you out. So Greg, I think you should pop me an email after this and we'll resolve that challenge. Okay. But strictly speaking, with the 2 million turnover, you would be beyond us. But let's have a conversation about it.
Just while we're on that point, Dave, how many applications have you had to date? Like over the last 3 or 4 weeks, have you any indication as to application size?
For the continuity voucher?
Yeah.
I know over the weekend we would have had close to 50.
And is there any particular vertical where you would have seen more applications required than others?
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of kind of traditional businesses transition to online and get help in making that initial foray into online, or you're seeing companies that are very savvy anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean anyway, as in on their online capacity, and they've identified that they need help with SEO or they need help with one other piece or one thing that they feel will move them up to the next level because they're getting big numbers on their website, but they're maybe getting big bounce as well. So they're the kind of ones that you're getting a lot of. But as I said, over the weekend, we would have had upwards of kind of 50 applications.
Great stuff. So just that we've 3 minutes left remaining and we have 2 more questions. So one in from Salvatore about the trading online voucher. Can it be used to cover the cost of a platform to deliver online lessons for students? If so, how can they apply? Just to give you an overview, Salvatore's company, they're a language school affected by the school closure since the 13th of March. They are LEO clients and have availed of the priming grant and development grant for the past few years. So I'd imagine that would stand to them in that case if they'd engaged the LEO in the past, Dave.
Yeah, well, look, that's very much, that's a good thing. In summary, could you use it to purchase a platform for a period of time? Yes, you could. You absolutely could. Like I mentioned during the presentation, people are using it for Shopify accounts. I would suggest that the platform that Salvatore is going to use is no different.
Very good stuff. And then one final question here from Colin and DVA Productions. Is it the same half-day course for either trading online voucher or 90% COVID option?
Yes, yeah, it is. And look, I'm conscious that the 30th of April is next week, and there's been massive demand for people to go onto the course, not just from who's attended here today or who's joined in today, but other events that we've run. We're going to be running that trading online voucher information session I think we're going to run it probably every week for the next number of weeks. Okay, so it's back to, if I had a team throughout the presentation, it's checking in on our websites and keep looking at us. And there's going to be endless amount of courses and training courses and trading online voucher information sessions that are going to be available for people to attend.
Great stuff. Well, look, I think that that wraps up the majority of the questions that we have. If anyone has any other questions after this session, will you please reach out to myself or Dave? My email is ronan@gec.ie. Dave, your email is?
It's I'll put it in here as the handiest thing.
Yeah, cool.
But look, engage with us. We're here for support. If there's something we don't do or we can't support you, and we'll definitely put you in contact with the right people. Okay.
That's great. Well, look, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this morning. Thank you, Dave, for taking the time to come in and present that. For any of the GEC clients who are here, Vicky will be running her yoga session at 12:30 today, so feel free to join in on that. Alternatively, I wish you all well. I hope you have a great week. And this is probably something that we'll try to do over the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks while this continues. So, thank you everyone, and look, we'll be in touch soon. Thanks.